I was the engineer in charge, Land Rover project was my title.
Yeah.
And then later on, when we were in production, I was promoted to assistant chief engineer, responsible for cars and Land Rovers. But we took the Jeep, you see, and we measured the bending stiffness of the Jeep and the torsional stiffness of the Jeep, and we made sure we were at least twice as good as that in both directions. Yeah, if you've got one that you know does the job reasonably well, you know, you've got something to start, you know, you don't know where to start if you haven't got something, you know. Yeah, but the Jeep had probably 4 or 5 years of war experience.
Yeah.
Had gone into that. So you'd be a mug if you didn't take advantage of it if you could. The body was another masterpiece, really, because there was practically no tooling and no press work involved in it, you know. Poppy did a wonderful job there. Just flat plates with folding edges, you know.
Yeah.
Incredible. No double-acting presses, not a thing. I don't think there'd ever been a vehicle produced in the UK that hadn't got the pressings on it, that they were double-acting presses. So he was the chap I thought did a very fine job. And a chap called Frank Shaw did the gearboxes. And we never had any trouble with those. Yeah, but again, we'd had a blooming good look at what the gears were in the Jeep and how big they were. And we said, well, we make them a bit bigger than those and the stress is a little bit lower, we should be all right. Which is what we did. It proved to be quite a sensible thing, and they haven't changed very much since. There were a few changes where, you know, when we had a free wheel and on the four-wheel drive, and then we went to dog gears, and a few things there where we changed our minds. But I thought the free wheel, I thought was quite a good idea on some circumstances, but it wasn't so good in others. Wasn't so good if you wanted to go in the opposite direction and things like that.
It didn't last long, did it?
No, it was a piece of the car. We used one on the car.
All right.
Well, you know, it was days of petrol rationing, and somebody had this bright idea, you see, if you put the free wheel in, on all the hills, the engine had just dropped to idle, and the free wheel down the hills. And generally speaking, on the same test circuit, it would give you 2 to 3 miles per gallon better consumption using the free wheel. But of course, you didn't have to accelerate too hard either, you know, you had to keep a nice steady speed. But if you did, it did quite some good. And then on the face of it, we thought it was a good idea, because the front wheels always go further than the rear wheels on any vehicle.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the logic behind that?
Well, there's a gentleman called Mr. Ackerman. Did you ever hear of Mr. Ackerman?
No.
Well, Mr. Ackerman was a
German
gentleman who sorted out the steering geometries for vehicles. And you'd have to have a pencil for this.
Oh, no, there you go.
Yeah. Take the back axle first. Take a line through the back axle and extend it out there. Now we put the front wheels in. Now Mr. Ackerman said that a line drawn through that, a line drawn through that, must all intersect on the one point there, you see. So that means that wheel, when you turn the steering, has to turn further than that wheel. Because that wheel's
Makes
going
sense.
around a circle there, and that wheel's going around
Makes sense.
a circle there.
I understand that.
Now this distance is longer than this distance. So the front wheels have to go further. See, the front wheels go around a curve here, and the back wheels go around a curve here, you see.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
inside
they do.
there.
That's right.
You see, so they always go further than the back wheels.
Well, there's of course when you look at mud, when you look at tracks on mud, where a car's going around a corner, the back wheels are always inside. The tracks are always inside the front wheels, aren't they?
Well, that was Mr. Ackerman who said that goes straight out there, and they've got to come from there. You see. And they've all. So when you turn, that wheel has to turn less than that wheel. It so happens that if you set it up when it's pointing straight ahead, now normally you've got a steering arm back here, and they're coupled together. And then one of them you steer. But these two are coupled together. If that intersects the back axle there, and that intersects the back axle there, it produces that effect.